All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to West Coast Massholes with my friend Josh Wingate.
Yes.
Hey. I'm Todd Anderson, and we're here to talk about all things masshole via the West Coast. Is that our mission statement?
Could it be Massholian? Can
Yeah,
we talk Massholian?
It's Massholian from the perspective of long removed Massholians or Massholes. I don't know.
Or yeah. I like it. Massholian.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Your connection seems really good today. Last time it was like laggy and you froze a lot.
Yeah, I think it's because this is the only device on Wi-Fi right now. A lot of times there's several devices going on in here on Wi-Fi, so we'll try to schedule our these things around that so we can have access to just this. Because I noticed too that it was crap, but this time it seems much more real time.
Yeah, I like that hat. Where'd you get that hat?
This is my lady's hat. I just wanted to wear it. It's from a company. I don't know if the company exists anymore, but it was this cool lady called the company's called Donuts and Deadlifts, or Deadlifts and Donuts. I don't know what the order is, but it's kind of like, just, hey, eat what you want and train really hard and like pick up shit and put it down and be badass. That's kind of her, thing. Like, she was a CrossFit. I think she was a CrossFit Games athlete, the woman who started it.
Oh, okay.
And then, so it's just kind of I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to start the timer. Hang on.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna run long
now.
No. God damn it.
No.
But that's okay, because this is a special Memorial Day episode.
That's right.
So I thought before we get into our normal segments as we introduced in our last episode, I was gonna say Memorial Day for me is I always think about my grandpa, who was in World War II. He flew a bomber. It was called the Giddy Giddy Boom Boom. And on what was to be their last bombing run of the war, they got shot down behind enemy lines. And he, in the crash, broke bones. And then trying to get to the tree line from the field they crashed in, took bullets. And I didn't know, like my grandfather never talked about this stuff when I was a kid. So I only learned really the details. I had like a vague notion of what happened, but the details came to me through a book. His gunner wrote a book after he passed away about the whole mission and experience. And apparently all of his men, attributed him as saving all their lives and keeping them alive. So they rode out the war in a POW camp in Bulgaria. He basically recovered from bullet wounds and broken bones on the only surface other than the floor in this warehouse, which was a giant wooden oak desk that his men let him lie down on while he was recovering from all this stuff. So I don't know why.
This was your grandfather? That was him?
Yeah, wow. My dad's dad. Yeah.
But he survived the war.
Yeah, he did, and so did all of the men who crashed with him in the bomber that he was flying.
Cool. I just missed that detail. But that's amazing. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it is. And he was he was often not nice, depending on the time of day and how much whiskey he had inhaled. But like reading this book by his gunner clarified all that for me. Like why would my grandpa, who I loved my grandpa, but he could be real mean. And I was always like, why is he like that? And he had a limp and I knew he had chronic pain. But as a kid, you don't process what all that means and where it might come from. So the fact that his gunner wrote a book, and the book is just called Giddy Giddy Boom Boom, the name of their bomber. I don't know. It really changed my perspective on his whole World War II service.
Wow, that's really cool. That's awesome. I'd like to prove that. My grandfather was in World War II as well. He was a Navy man in the Pacific.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What kind of was he on what kind of boat?
You know, I'm totally blanking. I got some great stories, like, but mostly they were like interpersonnel stories. He never really talked about any major battle stuff with me ever.
Uh-huh.
He just talked about like his time because he played a wind instrument, I think the trombone or the trumpet, and he was in the Navy band. But he was also in the Pacific. He was help cooking. But he would tell me these great stories about like if you got in an argument, an altercation with someone on your ship, you could call them out for Friday night lights. And every Friday night, like out on the helo deck or the whatever the flight deck, um, Friday nights you could call them out, even if they were an officer. And you put on these big, heavy leather gloves, and you go to town. And then that's the end of it. If that's the end of the beef, that's the end of it. Doesn't matter win or lose. But I'm sure you should probably be careful who you call out. You don't want to call out like the officer and beat up all the officers, and they're going to make your life miserable. I know, but I just thought it was a great concept. I mean, I think you got a bunch of guys on the ship, testosterone fueled in wartime, and like, yeah, let them slug it out in the back,
Yeah,
And
it's like Fight Club.
yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah. I know.
It wasn't like that when I was in the Navy.
No.
It wasn't like that. No.
You didn't get to fight your officers or nothing?
No. That would have been fun. We did have like one little in my division versus another division, like I like operation specialists against the radar guys. I don't know why. It was just like a weird thing, and we raided their barracks, and it was all body shots. Everybody knew not to throw face shots because no one wanted to go to captain's mast. It's mast. You get in serious trouble. So it's like we knew like we could fight, but just don't make it any marks on where it's noticeable. So that was the only fight. But we did get in a rumble in Australia.
A rumble?
Yeah, it was like straight out of the movies.
Oh wow.
Yeah, these younger folks in this northeastern part of Australia, Darwin, Mackay. That's how they say it. Yeah, and it's kind of like a more rural area up there, and these kids were just messing with all the Navy guys throughout the day. This one guy was dancing around thinking he was like Bruce Lee and like just trying to start shit all day. And I guess by the end of the night, all the sailors, stereotypical, everybody's loaded by the nighttime. And this guy is coming back around again and fucking with the sailors. So it's like straight out of a movie. Me and my buddy saw him messing with one of the older boatswain mates on our ship. He was probably like an old guy, almost retired, so almost like 40, and just beat up from Navy life. So we went up and grabbed our friends, and then we came back. And by the time we came back, it was like out of a movie. There was a line of their guys, like a big line, a group of our guys, and one guy in the middle talking.
It's like an old school. It's like Braveheart or something?
Yeah, it was like an old school, and nobody organized it. It just happened. Like no one was like, "All right, you guys line up." It was so weird. And then it looked like it was going to be okay, but then through their group towards us, I see a guy from my ship. He's a Golden Gloves boxer, and he comes through them and hits the guy in the middle from behind, and then it was just
a rumble.
Oh, it was madness. Yeah, it was crazy. And the guy who started it all tried to run away, and me and my buddy ran after him. I got to practice my karate. It was fun.
How effective was karate in a rumble?
Well, it was good because it was just pretty much one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
So because this guy that started all the problems, he took off running. So we're like, we're not letting this guy get away. So we caught him. So I caught to him first, and he did some like Bruce Lee move, and I just front kick right to the midsection, and he dropped. And my buddy came over, and my buddy's and he just boom, like right on the side. It was pretty much over that quickly. And then my buddy picked up his sandal because his sandal fell off, and he threatened the guy. He's like, "Stay down, just stay down." Threatening him with a freaking piece of footwear, like an abuelita, or abuela, whatever.
How
Sorry,
were
that
there,
I just tangented it out on the military. Sorry,
the,
it just happened, man. Fuck the segments. I'm sorry. It's
that's all
Memorial
right.
Day.
That's all right. This is good. It's a
Yeah,
special Memorial Day episode. You
yeah.
should absolutely tell service stories. I don't have any, I
No, you do. You have your grandfathers. That's
had
awesome.
my
That's a
grandfather's,
great story.
right,
So
yeah,
that's a story. That's how stories are historically passed down from
passed
generation
down.
to generation.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
true.
that story for
That's
sure, man.
true.
That's part
Yeah.
of that. That's part of your story. You don't have the interpersonal, like
I don't
direct
have the first
experience.
person. I could
Yeah.
I could tell you a story about how I worked for the Sherburne, Massachusetts Police Department, but that's it. That's it.
What was your job? Like
I
janitor?
was, I
Did
was
you clean the toilets or what?
no, I was the gate guard at the local farm pond. So all I did
Oh,
was
cool.
I stood there. They gave me a little like shirt with like a little dumb badge on it, and like a name tag or whatever. So I looked official, but I was just a high school kid. So I just stand there in this gazebo thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and people
yeah.
would pull in, and I would check to see if they had stickers, because you had to pay like a fee. And if you
I
lived
see.
in town, your fee was a certain amount. If you lived out of town, you had to fill out an application, and it was more. And sometimes people would like get stickers from friends from out of town. Out of town people would get
Yeah.
stickers from people in town, and they just tape them to their window so it wouldn't actually
Mm-hmm.
be stuck to the window. And so it was always obvious. And there was this one time, this guy, I saw him pull in, and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, that sticker doesn't match your license plate. That's not, you can't park here. You got to give me that sticker." And he's like, "Meh, meh, meh." And he like walked away over. There was like a big hill you had to go over to get to the little beach on the pond. So he took his kids over, and I was like, ugh. And then I called the lifeguards on the other side, and I said, "You got to announce." I called the cops, gave him the license number. They told me his name. So the lifeguards on the PA called him, told him to come back over, and he came over. And he got into started yelling at me right in my face because I was kicking him out, and started grabbing my shirt and like pushing me around. And I pushed him off me, and I said, dude, you can't do that. And then he got in his car and he took off. I called my bosses, the police, and they came by. I told them about the whole thing, and they went and they arrested him because I was working for the police department. It's essentially deputized. So it was an assault on an officer.
On a peace officer, right?
So,
Yeah, that's a major.
yeah.
That's like is that a felony?
Probably. I mean, I don't know what it was with me, what the details were, but what happened was he actually came back that day without his kids and like apologized profusely. And I was like, as if it was like some charges I could drop or something. And I was like, dude, this is out of my hands. This is I work for the police. The police are dealing with this now. So, a month and a half later, I had to go into a hearing. It wasn't a trial. It was just a hearing with a judge. And the judge totally let him off because he was a doctor and all that. But I to this day, I still think that guy's a douchebag. But that's the closest to combat I've ever come.
That's an exciting story. That's a good story. That should be in a movie. That'd be funny. Like a kid who gets the first day. It's his first day on the job.
First day.
Well, how old were you?
I must have been probably, I would say 17.
And so that's assault on a minor as well.
Yeah. There were a lot of charges that got dropped. And I lost you. I lost you there.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Coming. Someone tried to call me. Don't they know I'm on live?
Yeah.
Man.
And I actually, when I went to this hearing, I said to the other cops, the cops who took me there, I was like, I want this guy to fry. And they're like, we're not going to fry this guy. We're going to let him off. We're just here to scare the shit out of him. And that's it. I was like, no, I want him to go to jail. And they're like, well, he's kind of an important brain surgeon or some damn thing. So I don't know.
That doesn't give him any more. See, that's privilege, bro. That's
total
privilege.
Totally. It was total privilege. But at the time, I was a 17-year-old kid working for, local cops. I didn't know. I wasn't about to like say, no, you guys are wrong. I want this guy to go to prison. But yeah, that's
That's great though. You could have filed a civil suit.
Yeah, that's true. I should have sued him. I should have asked him for money. Just like, look, dude, if you want me to go easy on you, just give me 40 grand.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that would
come
have
on.
been illegal too. So I didn't.
Well, you could word it in a way that you weren't asking directly for money. Well, maybe there's 40,000 reasons I wouldn't be able to, but I don't know.
I don't
Could be
know.
more. It could be more than 40,000 reasons.
Maybe if I
know.
suddenly found 40,000 to 70,000 and up of money, I just got it, I would forget all about this if I got that money. I don't know, because like that kind of money, it's changes things.
That just doesn't fall out of the sky, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
it could.
I should have done it again.
My address is blah 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 blah, and I mean.
You could drop it. Somebody could drop it off there. I don't know.
I mean, maybe before 3 p.m. I don't know. I mean, if that happened, who knows? I'd probably forget about a lot of things.
It was fun when he came back though, and he apologized because he knew he was in trouble. That part was sort of that was the best part, because it changed. Like, he went from being this guy screaming in my face, telling me what a piece of shit I was, to just groveling. It was
because he was scared.
Yeah, it was pathetic.
Scared.
Yeah, it was pathetic. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
He was a coward.
Yeah, he was. He was a coward. He was an overprivileged coward. He had some actually, no, I got that wrong. When he came back, he brought his kids with him, so his kids had to watch him apologize. But he was doing that because he was trying to get me to let him off. Oh, there's George Takei.
Oh.
That's
15.
That's 15 plus, because we started late. So
I love it.
You have anything you want to say before we sign off?
No, that was fun.
That was.
Fun. I hope no. Just real quick to bookend it. Is your grandfather still alive?
No, he passed away a while back. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why I know there's a lag on Skype. That's what I was saying with this book. Like, it clarified so much for me that wouldn't have been clarified otherwise, I don't think. Just because the way my family is, we're quiet. We don't talk a lot. We don't share that much.
No, the Irish Catholic. And were you Irish Catholic family?
Well, yeah, partially.
There's a whole play about us guys. Long day's journey into night.
Yeah.
The whole play is about that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's classic.
Yep.
All right. So next time we'll try to do segments, I guess, because we didn't this time.
We'll try.
Memorial Day special. All right. Yeah. So let's do it. We do our salute. It seems extra disrespectful of me. It does
kind of, doesn't it?
On Memorial Day, but okay.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
Yeah. It's still, it feels good.
Yeah, that's the only thing I wish I had been in the military, because I love that way of greeting people.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I would have liked.
Yeah, I could have seen you as an officer, just walking around with a major ego buzz, getting saluted all day long. Hey, you wouldn't even salute back. You'd just be like, at ease. Because you wouldn't want to waste your time.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, that's it for West Coast Massholes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So good to see you.
This has been a Blursh production. Blursh.